What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Knuckle Sandwich. Today we're sitting down with Phil Perkins, the head guy over at Future of Fighting, talking about his upcoming event, March 9th, Future of Fighting 2 Back to the Future in Louisville, Kentucky. Make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more fighter and fight interviews on our channel. And now that you're ready, buckle up, because here we go. Phil Perkins is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We're going back to the future. Future of Fighting 2 is coming March 9th. Phil, what's up? How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling excited, feeling pumped for March 9th. We're going back to the Kentucky Center of African American Heritage in Louisville, Kentucky. And you've got a big shoes to fill from the very first Future Fighting. All fights, all finishes in the very first one. How do we plan on topping that at Back to the Future on March 9th?
Good question. Well, I know the fights will be good as well. I plan on topping it with a better all-around event. The first event was good. You know, we didn't have anything go wrong, and I'm super happy with it. We got 99% good feedback. But just want to fix a few little things and make it even better. A little bit better production, a little bit better with the ticketing. The seating will be a little bit more organized. We're adding instant replay to the pay-per-view. Just doing a few things on the pay-per-view to upgrade it a little bit and just trying to get a little bit better every show.
Nice. That was one of my questions too, was what can we expect new or even different to this show versus the first? And you already answered that with like the ticket process and the instant replay, the seating. But like, is there anything else that the spectators live at the fight can expect maybe different from the last fight to this one?
Yeah, we're just gonna add some cool, fun stuff like photo booth and some different things. This time, Nathan Manis is gonna come out. He fights in the UFC, of course. He's I believe got somebody on the card. He's going to come out and sign autographs between 5:30 and 6:30, which is pretty cool of him. So it's like a little meet and greet. So yeah, just a few different things to make it more of an experience. I want it to be fun for the fight fans, but also the people that maybe it's like their first time coming to a fight or they're just newer to MMA. I want it to be like a fun event for them as well, to where everybody has a good time.
Yeah, and Nathan Manis is one of the guys, but you also have Ed Suarez showing up as well, the LFA CEO. So you've got some big ticket guys, hopefully to draw in more people. But that's pretty cool, especially for only the second show, to have two guys of that caliber both in attendance.
Yeah, Ed Suarez coming is big. Of course, he's the owner of LFA, which is a huge feeder show to the UFC. So it's going to be nice working with them and building this direct path for Future Fighting, LFA, UFC, and giving these guys that are fighting for us a for sure opportunity. And like I said, a for sure path to the UFC. So very excited about that. And then for me, you know, I've been watching fighting for a long time. So I always remember seeing Ed Suarez in the press conferences with Anderson Silva. And I remember Sinister Brand. And so, you know, I remember him from way back. So yeah, pretty cool for sure.
Yeah. Very cool. And so I believe I counted right. There's 14 fights on the card so far that you've posted, but I want to talk about 4 or 5 of them that are really huge for the card and for the promotion themselves. And starting with really a dark horse fight that you had mentioned to me before. These two guys were originally scheduled for the first Future of Fighting card. It didn't work out, but Wilder Layens versus Sergio Martinez is one of your dark horses fights. So I want to kind of talk about those two guys and why that's one of your dark horses in the card March 9th.
Sure. Sergio has been fighting, bouncing all over, fighting the best of the best in multiple promotions and really taking on all comers. And in his losses, they've all been closely contested. So he's had some really good fights, and Wilder the same thing. He's coming off some losses, but the guys he fought were fighting for championships or current champions in other promotions. He also dropped the weight class. So these guys are two guys that are fighting the best in multiple promotions, and both two really skilled amateur fighters for their record. So that's one of my dark horse or one of my sleeper fights to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, both of these guys fight tough opponents. That's one of the key points that I wrote down about both guys. So with
Yeah.
Wilder, his last fight when he fought Keaston McLean at Future Fighting One, he almost upset Keaston. And Keaston's a very hard guy to finish, and he almost had that guillotine choke, but Keaston ended up slipping out. Like I said with Martinez, he's again fights these tough guys, and he's a very forward moving dude. So I think these two definitely are going to pack a punch and put on a great show at Future
Yeah.
Fighting Two. We've
Yeah,
got
it's me
two.
fireworks. Wilder's got good knockouts. He's had some good finishes, some exciting stuff even in the weigh-ins up before his fight. So I know it's gonna be and he's really turned a new leaf the last year or two. So it'll be exciting to see what he can do in this fight.
Yeah, you guys have a middleweight title fight for the vacant Future of Fighting amateur middleweight title. Christian Floyd versus Wallace McCoy Jr. These two guys both have some heavy hands and good combinations. What kind of came about with these two guys, and how did this championship bout come to fruition?
We were looking pretty hard for an opponent for Christian, and honestly was having a little bit of trouble. And Wallace McCoy stepped up. We saw he was a champion and had multiple championships and other promotions, and seemed like a good opponent for Christian. And we're happy he come in and accepted the fight. Christian's 5-1
Mm-hmm.
and taking on some pretty good competition. So looking going towards the end of his amateur career, trying to find some good competition fights to get ready for the professionals.
Nice. I know with Floyd, I think when I was watching some of his film, was it Murphy, one of the guys that he fought at B2, that 1-2 stunned him, and the guy just froze in the air pretty much, and then fell over after. I think his last name was Murphy. Incredible knockout.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He's got some power in
Yeah, I
his
can't
left
remember his
hand.
name.
Yeah,
Beautiful left hand, and he kept going backwards in that fight. And I said, "Stop going backwards! Stop going back!" And he stopped and threw three lefts. And yeah, I think the guy was asleep on the second one, and the
yeah.
third one put him down. That was a great fight for him. So yeah, super talented kid. He's definitely going to go somewhere. So a big fight for him. Tough challenge. Got to get past Wallace before he goes anywhere else. But that's a super exciting fight also to watch for 185-pound championship, amateur championship.
For sure. And moving on to the next championship fight, one of the, I would definitely say the future of fighting poster child almost, if I dare say, Tyler No Smoke Stout taking on a Torian Cook for defending his flyweight championship that he won at the very first show. Tyler Stout, the hometown boy, he's always got the crowd on his shoulders, and I'm telling you, the place lit up when he won by knockout in his last fight. A beautiful knockout, if I must ask. But Torian is a guy that's not going to back down from anything. These two guys should put on a very exciting fight for the flyweight championship.
Yeah, Tyler had most of his first fights in Florida, but he lived in Louisville. So when he fights here, he does bring a big crowd. He fought for the 125 title, amateur title at the last show, and yeah, he ended up with a beautiful knockout that's been played a bunch on the internet, which is probably why he said he's the poster boy. Him
Yeah.
that knockout, and there's two or three other ones that have really been played a lot on the internet. One from Kamara and one from Gabby Jarrett, the female knockout.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had a great finish to that fight against a tough opponent then, and now looking to finish his amateur career. And we've been looking for the toughest fights for him. And Torian Cook is actually local and trains at Louisville Combat Academy, so we know those guys well. Super good guys, great gym, tough opponent, and another great test for Tyler. Tyler trains with me, so I'm of course a little bit partial on this one. I just feel Tyler is a little bit too his stand-up's just a little bit too advanced, and his understanding of mixed martial arts as a whole is a little bit further along. And I think that's the experience that's going to get him the win in this one. So
Yeah, this fight super super I think it can be contested both ways. I think that this can be a really even fight, or maybe even a one-sided. I don't know, but one
will
of the big things.
will not it could possibly be a very tough fight. Like I said, solid opponent. We were looking for tough opponents for him. And we know it's a tough fight locally. And Tyler didn't blink at it. He was chomping at the bit for it. And Torian again, super tough kid. His other fight, I believe the guy he fought for a title, and then one guy he fought at 35 before, and then the other guy went professional right after he beat him. So he's had some really solid opponents too, and some really solid fights. So this fight's really, the crowd is going to be the winner on this fight,
For sure.
most more than anybody.
Yeah, the fighting styles is for this matchup in particular was one of the things that I really liked because Tyler Stout is one of these guys that's going to move forward constantly. He's going to put the pressure on you. He's going to bring the fire to the fight. But Torian is great fighting off his back foot. He's good at countering. He's got good counter punches. He's got a great counter right hand that I think, I mean, it could catch anybody at any given time. So that's why I think, the crowd should probably be on their feet really paying attention for this fight most of the time, especially with two Louisville guys coming in fighting for a belt.
Yeah, Torian's solid. Watching his film, he doesn't really make a lot of mistakes, and everything he does is he makes a lot of smart moves for an MMA fight. Doesn't put himself in a lot of bad positions. So Tyler's going to have to really capitalize on the ones that he leaves, and we're going to see how it goes. Great fight, and definitely ready to get that one going. Tyler Stout, Torian Cook, 125 amateur title.
We move into the pro fights. I believe probably after that one. I'm figuring that's probably the last amateur fight on the card. But so we move into the pros. We've got two guys that are both making their pro debuts. Zlatko Skuljan versus Jonathan Francois. And if I butchered that name, I'm sorry. But both these guys, great amateur careers. Zlatko was 8-3 as an amateur. He was ranked number 2 in Kentucky, number 4 in the Southeast. Francois was 4-1 as an amateur. Both these guys, I mean, they're comfortable. It seems like wherever it goes. It seems like Francois is more of a stand-up guy. Zlatko maybe is better on the ground or more of a ground guy. How do you see this fight playing out in both their pro debuts?
Yeah, I'm not sure. This one's going to be interesting. Francois comes up from Georgia. He's coming from Georgia. Did some research on him. Super solid amateur career, 4-1 as an amateur. And Zlatko is from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Trains with Donnie Wallace. He was, I believe, 8-3 as an amateur. So he had over 10 amateur fights. A very experienced amateur, so definitely ready to make his way into the pros. And for two guys going into the professionals, this is two experienced guys, and it'll be a great fight to kick off the pro card.
For sure. And moving into that main event, Ian Lawler versus Andrew the Gavel Law. Both these guys are coming off of some layoffs in their career, it seems like. I know Lawler, he had a grappling match at your last fight, but since then, though, it's been a 5-year gap since really his last pro fight that I could find. Where Law, I believe it was about 2 or 3 years. So how did both these guys come into play when making this main event for you?
Yeah, I know Ian comes up and trains with us on Tuesdays. He owns Somerset Combat Academy. He's jiu-jitsu black belt. And I know his academy a couple years ago had moved to a new building, and I can't speak for him, but I feel like maybe he was just kind of focused on the gym and the gym growing, and then got to a spot where he wanted to compete again. And he started coming up more often training, and then expressed to us at the last show when he grappled that he would like to fight on this card. So Hard Rock found him an opponent, Andrew Law. Andrew Law is actually a judo black belt from Ohio. He's an instructor up there. So two guys, judo black belt versus jiu-jitsu black belt. Both guys are very experienced. Ian's got, I think, 10 pro fights, and Andrew Law is, I want to say, 11-6, maybe.
Yeah, 17 fights. Yep.
So a super experienced opponent, and two kind of clash of styles that should be fun and exciting to watch, and see how it goes for the main event there at 170 pounds.
Yeah, when I break down both of their records, Lawler 6-4, all of his wins were by stoppage, 4 submissions, 2 knockouts for Lawler. When you look at Andrew Law, 11-6 as a pro, 2 knockouts, 6 submissions. So both guys really experienced on the ground. You said the jiu-jitsu and the judo background. So I'm curious to see, once it gets there, who's got the advantage, because Lawler's never been submitted either in his pro career. So it should make for a really interesting main event in that 170 pro division.
Yeah, and sometimes, like they say, when the two grapplers get together, then you get a stand-up fight. So maybe we get a stand-up fight. Who knows? That's what makes it exciting. I know both these guys are going to be ready to rock. I know Ian's been training hard. He's been training with us. He's been down to Knoxville Martial Arts, I believe it is, down there. Just traveling, trying to find the toughest rooms to get in. And I'm excited for Ian to get in there and test his skills, and decide to have Andrew up and have them guys have a good fight for the main event.
Heck yeah. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? I know you got a lot of sponsors for the show. You've got the Fox Inn hosting the weigh-ins the night before. So if you want to give any shout outs for those guys, the floor is yours, Phil.
Yeah, I'll probably forget somebody, but thanks to my team, the Future Fighting team, for sure. Everybody's helping me put it together, the social media team especially, and just everybody that helps me make the event happen. It's coming up soon, so I thank everybody in advance, and everybody that come out to the first event. I thank you guys too. Our main sponsors are the Fox Inn. The weigh-ins will be there the day before Friday. It's December 8th at 5:30. 5:30 will be the media weigh-ins that will play live on Facebook like we did last time. Precision Garage Door, Next Level Sports Nutrition, Beard HVAC, Pack Mule Moving, National Sports Training Alliance, Epperson Screen Print. There's a bunch more. Those are our main diamond and platinum sponsors. We appreciate those guys, and we appreciate all the sponsors that really help us make it happen. They because of them, we've been able to make it an even nicer event. And I'm excited for everybody to come out, see what we can do. And I just think it's going to grow every time. I think people are going to slowly come check us out. And once they come check us out, they'll be back for a good show and a fun event.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to do those post-fight interviews like we did last time. Guys, make sure to get you some merch while you're there. Been wearing this shirt, every week or two. But man, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for this card. And Phil, I appreciate you hopping on today. And yeah, man, this is going to be exciting. Back to the Future, March 9th. Let's do it.
Future Fighting, Back to the Future, our second event. It's at the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, downtown Louisville, home of Muhammad Ali. You guys, if you need tickets, you go to futureoffighting.com. That's the only place tickets are sold. We only do online tickets. The pay-per-view link is on there as well. Make sure when you guys buy your tickets and stuff, you guys click who you're coming to see, because at the end, we're going to give something to the fighters that sell the most tickets. And yeah, that's it, man. Thanks, everybody. I'm sure I forgot a bunch of stuff and other things, but check out our social media at Future of Fighting MMA, and we keep everything posted on there. And get ready for some awesome fights March 9th.
Heck yeah, let's go. Thank you, Phil, again for hopping on. Can't wait for Back to the Future.
Appreciate it.